Hello, beautiful souls. It's Emily with twinsinunion, and I am back once again with a full union spread for us to take a look at these energies that we are in right now. We have the new moon in Sagittarius today, so happy new moon, everyone. I will talk a little bit more in depth about that in just a second here, but I just want to say a quick thank you so much to all of my new subscribers, and thank you so much to all of you who have been continuing with me on this journey. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of your lovely comments and your emails. It really brightens my day and lifts my spirits to hear from you and to just hear that my readings resonate with you, and you know, just to know that I'm helping you and giving you more clarity and guiding you in your journey. It just really means a lot to me. So you know, I'm so honored, and I just love you guys, and I just wanted to express my thanks. So yeah, getting back to the new moon, this is a really wonderful new moon because it is in the sign of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it's really all about igniting us with hope and optimism and passion, and it's really about listening to our heart's desires and that fire burning in our heart. And it's the most perfect time of year to have these energies coming in, because on the 20th on the 21st, we have the Winter Solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, then that would be your summer solstice. But yeah, so up here in the north, we are entering the longest night of the year on the Winter Solstice. So it's a really nice balance of energies, having this light and fire and hope and optimism coming in when we are in the darkest time of the year. And it's kind of like the energy of, it makes me think of having a fire in the fireplace on a cold winter night and just getting all cozy and just kind of being mesmerized by the light of the fire and feeling its warmth. So today's the new moon, and then the 21st we have the solstice. And the other really cool thing about the solstice is, you know, the days will start to get longer gradually, and the nights will gradually start to get shorter once we move through the solstice. So it's kind of seen as like a time of rebirth for the masculine. And you know, for those of us who celebrate Christmas, that is the birth of the baby Jesus. So it's this beautiful masculine energy that is being born and will begin to grow, and that light of the sun will get stronger, and you know, we'll see the days getting longer. So yeah, it's just really beautiful energy this time of year, with that birth of the masculine, the birth of Jesus, and that strength of the sun starting to rise again. The other really cool astrological thing, which I'm not an astrologer, by the way, this is all my research and dabbling that I enjoy doing. But the other cool thing is that we have Saturn moving into Capricorn on the 20th, and this is really exciting, as I think, especially for us as twin flames, because it's all about coming home, and Saturn is the planet that rules Capricorn, so they're kind of like two peas in a pod, and they go really well together. They like each other. And you know, it's all about the energy of coming home to ourselves, coming home to our beloved. It's very grounding. It's putting those roots down. And this is going to be for the next 2.5 years for Saturn and Capricorn. And I just really feel like, you know, as far as for us on the twin flame journey, this is a really exciting time because Capricorn is not only about coming home, but it is about getting down to work and rolling up our sleeves. And so I just feel a lot of mission energy. And like over the next 2.5 years, a lot of us are going to be coming into our unions, and we're going to be coming into our missions, and we're really being prepared, I feel, for 2020, which I feel is going to be a big year for twin flames to start their missions in union, you know, their union missions, and to really help the planet in whatever way, you know, your mission is for your union. But I just think that we're really being prepared for that over these next 2.5 years. So it's really exciting, and it really is going to be a time for us to, you know, start to roll up our sleeves and, you know, move forward with determination. You know, when we think about the bigger picture in terms of why we are here as twin flames. Yeah, so again, that new moon in Sagittarius is just igniting us to shoot for our dreams, dream big, listen to our heart's desires, and then all this Capricorn energy coming in is really going to help us in grounding and manifesting all of these dreams and desires on the earth plane, you know, as we are coming home to our beloved, coming home to ourselves, and stepping into our missions. So, with all that being said too, you know, I, on a personal note, feel like there's this completion of a big ascension cycle that's happening. And for me personally, 5 years ago at the 12-12-12 gateway, that was when my whole world really turned upside down. And I was hospitalized with multiple health complications, and it was like all of my darkest fears coming to the surface. And you know, I realized that the life that I was living at that time wasn't serving me anymore, and I moved across the country back to my hometown to, you know, really focus on my health and my healing and finding myself again. And it was a very challenging time, you know, that kind of dark night, if you want to call it that. But over the past 5 years, I have become a new person. And, you know, I'm still working out some health stuff, but I feel amazing. I feel better than I have felt in decades. And I know that I have my twin and all of the healing that I've been doing in my journey guiding me in this process, and I'm just so grateful to him for all of that. So, and I'm, you know, looking back on it, as horrible as it felt as I was going through it, when I look back on it, it's just so clear that God's hand was in all of it, and it was beautifully and divinely orchestrated, because, you know, at that time I was living like 2,600 miles away from my twin. I had no idea I was a twin flame. I had no idea I had a twin flame. But, you know, it was all preparation so that I could meet my twin flame, and now I live like 45 minutes from my twin flame. So it all makes perfect sense now, and even though at the time I couldn't make any sense of it, I'm so grateful for the whole experience, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that awakening. So anyway, all of that to say, I feel like we are really wrapping up that cycle. So if you think back to where you were and what you were doing and what was happening in your life in December of 2012, you know, and then think about where you are right now and how you have grown and how you have changed, you know, it's really beautiful to be able to look back on all of it and to see that divine order And now we are, I feel, embarking on a new cycle of ascension, and you know, I feel like the next 5 years are going to be even more amazing. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time. Okay, so with all of that being said, I will turn the camera towards the cards and we can dive into the reading here. All right, and I've got my little angel. I was feeling festive for the holidays, so I put my little tree out and my little angel out, and I've got my little, it's kind of like a snowflake star sparkly thing over there in the corner, and yeah, so I just thought I would make things more festive. But okay, so as usual, I have the masculine energies over on the side and the feminine energies over on this side, and then we have the union energies in the center. And for these energy cards, I am using the Energy Oracle deck by Sandra Ann Taylor, and then I have clarifying cards from Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot. And then, as always, I like to share a romance message, so I will be sharing that from the Divine Love Letters book. And at the end, I will wrap up with some divine guidance for us from the Wisdom of the Golden Path deck by Tony Carmine Salerno. Okay, so I will start over here with the masculine. And I asked Spirit, what is the Divine Masculine thinking in his mental space regarding his twin flame connection and his beloved? And the card that came up is called Yin Yang. And this card has been really coming up a lot lately. It came up for the 12/12 gateway reading that I did recently. It also has come up a couple of times in the past 2 readings I think I did. 2 or 3 readings. Anyway, this energy here really to me feels like that you know, that 12/12 gateway that we went through, where we were really growing in our awareness of unity consciousness, energies of unification, energies of merging, and you know, we see this feminine swirl here with this masculine swirl, the fiery swirl. And this just reminds me of like what I was just saying about this kind of opposing energies, the dualities of you know, this fiery Sagittarius energy coming up against this winter solstice energy, where we are in the longest night of the year, that yin energy, and that image of the fire burning on a cold winter night. And when we bring that all together, it just creates a really magical feeling, you know, that warmth and that light, and getting all cozy on a cold winter night. So with this yin yang card with the Divine Masculine, I'm sensing that, you know, he's really thinking about union. This is a card of union. That number 22 represents, you know, the divine union, the Divine Masculine coming together with the Divine Feminine, the 11 plus the 11 merging and coming together and creating that third energy. So the Divine Masculine is thinking about this connection. He's thinking about union. He's thinking about this coming together. And I feel like he's also really coming into union within himself. We see this, you know, this feminine swirl here. He's got this blue dot in here, which is his feminine aspect. So you know, I'm sensing that a lot of the divine masculines are really balancing with their feminine energy right now as well. So, the clarifying card that came up with this yin yang is the Page of Air. And the Page of Air is, air represents mental energy, or it would be like swords in the traditional tarot deck. And so this Page of Air is, it says logical, honest, impulsive, curious, and challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. So what I'm really picking up from this Page of Air is that the divine masculine really wants to be careful about how he approaches this concept of union, you know, that he's thinking about union, reunion with his divine feminine, and he wants to go about it in a way that is logical, you know, bringing in those masculine qualities of logic and being rational and being thoughtful, and, you know, like he's concerned about being overly impulsive about it. So it's just really like a pause, taking time to gather ideas, taking time to really explore this idea of union and reuniting with his beloved, and how to approach that, and how to do it in a way that is thoughtful and honest and with integrity, and really communicating in a way that reveals his truth and his intentions. Yeah. And, you know, with the Page of Air too, it can, sometimes the energy of it can be where it comes across in kind of a, I don't know if immature is the right word, but it might just come across in kind of a clunky way. And so, you know, if you are a divine feminine and you do receive contact from your divine masculine, I feel like this is a message to just have an open mind and to really think about the intention behind the words rather than what the actual words are. You know, think about, you know, how much courage it took for him to reach out, or think about how much strength it took for him to, you know, put together this letter or this email or this text or whatever it might be. But yeah, and I don't know, this could, we have Mercury retrograde going direct on the 22nd, so this could kind of be, you know, I feel like once Mercury goes direct, then some of this clunky communication is going to like be cleared up. And so maybe right now the divine masculine is just taking time to really kind of gather his thoughts and gather his ideas and kind of sit with things before he's ready to communicate anything. But yeah, that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up from these cards for the divine masculine's mental space. And then what is the divine masculine feeling in his heart? And so the card that came up is Healer of the Ages. And this is another card that has been coming up a lot for the divine masculine, and just in readings in general. And I feel like it is a reminder to us as twin flames that we are healers. We are divine beings. We are light workers. And so the divine masculine is really receiving a lot of heart healing right now, and he's really receiving a lot of heart activations and heart expansion. And we see, you know, this light illuminating this man's heart, and it's just radiating and expanding. And to me, this really ties in with that energy of, you know, the Sagittarius energy. This new moon in Sagittarius is really igniting fire and illuminating his heart with passion and desire, and awakening the divine masculine in his heart to what his calling is, what his desires are, what he really, really wants within his heart space, and really waking him up to that truth within himself. And we can see his head is all illuminated with light, and his third eye is illuminated with light. So a lot of, you know, 7th chakra, 6th chakra, that crown chakra opening up and receiving divine guidance, and that 3rd chakra opening up, assisting him in envisioning his future. And, you know, all of that is coming into being through these desires that are in his heart, and him really awakening to those desires, really listening to his heart. And there were a couple of clarifying cards that came up with this. Page of Fire and 9 of Fire. And so with the 9 of Fire, I feel like, well, first of all, we have 2 fire cards here. And, you know, like I was saying, this feels like a lot of that Sagittarius energy, where it's igniting passion, igniting our heart's desires. And, you know, with the 9 of Fire, it says, don't give up. Protect that which you have created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So I feel like the divine masculine is really getting this infusion of courage and strength and confidence in his heart, you know, where he's really starting to see that his dreams and his desires have value, and that they're worthy of protecting, and they're worthy of going after. You know, really pausing and listening to that inner wisdom in his heart. And, you know, like this light that is coming in is just really helping him to believe in himself, believe in his dreams, and really go after those dreams. Really gathering his strength. And then with the Page of Fire, it says, outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So I feel like with the Page of Fire, you know, this is about really putting it into action. Really taking those bold steps, really being daring, and really, you know, taking that strength and that courage and that confidence that he's been gathering and putting it into action, moving forward with it. Taking the steps to make his dreams and desires manifest and happen. Yeah. So this all just really beautifully ties in with this Healer of the Ages. You know, his heart opening up in illumination, and we see these 2 flames, twin flames in the background here. You see all of this light coming out of his hands. So, you know, all of these desires in his heart, he's really waking up to that and really realizing that, you know, it has value. It's something special. It's something that he treasures. It's something that he cherishes. It's something that he's, you know, been creating and wants to really manifest. And this is a 51, so that number 5 represents the change and transformation. which fire is a very transformative energy where it, you know, burns off the old so that the new can come in. And then we have the number 1, which is that new beginning. And number 1 also representing this individual, the divine sovereign being, the whole, you know, the whole individual, the individual in their state of wholeness. And then when we add the 1 and the 5, we get the number 6. So that is that energy of the lovers coming through. Love, harmony, beauty, all of that coming through from this transformation and from this new beginning. And when I was looking at these cards earlier, I had a really funny vision come to me where, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie called A Christmas Story, with a little boy named Ralphie, and all he wants for Christmas is a Red Ryder BB gun. And it's one of my favorite Christmas movies. And so when I was looking at these cards, I had the image of the scene where the little boy Ralphie's in line to visit Santa and to tell Santa what he wants for Christmas. And he gets so nervous when he finally gets up to Santa and he's sitting on Santa's lap and his mind goes blank and he can't think of what he wants for Christmas. And, you know, Santa's like, how about a football? And he's just kind of nodding like, yeah, yeah. And then he starts going down the slide, you know, after he gets off of Santa's lap, going down the slide. And then all of a sudden he's like, no, 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 wait. And he like spreads out his legs and like stops himself from going down the slide. And he turns around and he tells Santa, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. And so, I don't know, I was just feeling like this energy coming through these cards where it's like the divine masculine is really waking up to what he wants, and he's kind of been like, you know, if you want to call it asleep, or his heart has been kind of shut down, so he hasn't really been able to listen to his dreams as much because there's been like so much external pressure on what he should do and how he should live and what he should want. And so now it's almost like the divine masculine is just like, no, 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 wait, I still have a chance. I can still make my dreams come true. I can still make this happen. I can manifest it. I can have what I want. I can have my dreams and my desires. Like, you know, hold the press. I can do this. I can make it happen. And it was just a really neat energy, or, you know, visualization of the energy coming through these cards. So anyway, for those of you that like that movie, maybe that will make sense. For the rest of you, I hope that makes sense if you haven't seen the movie. But yeah, anyway, just thought I would share that. Okay, so what does the divine masculine need? And, you know, I was asking, like, on a soul level, what does the divine masculine need? And so we have appreciation. So I feel like this kind of goes back to what I was just saying, that the divine masculine needs to be able to appreciate his dreams and his desires on a soul level, to appreciate the truth of his soul, to appreciate his dreams and to see that they have value. And in this card we see this woman, and she's in this field of bushes, and these are actually like bramble bushes, and they have a lot of thorns. So I was just getting the sense that the divine masculine has had all of this external conditioning, whether it's society or family or religion or cultural or, you know, work pressures or academic pressures, all of these like ideas of who he should be and what he should want and what a divine masculine is according to like this old outdated template. And that it has felt like thorns in his side because, you know, he's had to listen to all of this external influence around him instead of listening to his heart and instead of listening to his soul. And so now, you know, he is able to hold this rose and to see that all of these dreams and desires in his heart are beautiful, and they are valuable, and they are worth appreciating, and they are worth taking action on, and they are worth having in his life. And, you know, to just pull those thorns out and, you know, honor the beauty and the truth of the seeds of desire that are planted in his heart that he really wants to manifest. So that's, you know, the main energy that I was getting from this card. And it's interesting, this is a 15, and then the Healer of the Ages is 51. So a lot of transformation and a lot of change and a lot of new beginnings. And I really feel like the Divine Masculine as a collective is transitioning out of the old template for the masculine and transitioning into the new template for the Divine Masculine. And, you know, part of this new template that he's moving into is appreciating his heart's desires and listening to his heart and being open to his heart and not shutting down his feelings anymore, but opening up to his feelings and seeing his feelings have value, and they are worthy and they are meaningful. And the clarifying card that came up with this is the High Priestess, a major arcana. And this High Priestess energy has been coming through really strong lately. So, you know, it's really honoring that higher wisdom, honoring his intuition. And this is a feminine quality. Intuition is a feminine aspect. And so it goes back to that yin-yang card of the Divine Masculine really balancing out that inner feminine aspect within himself to be able to honor his feelings and listen to his feelings and tap into his intuition, and to really see his intuition as something that is valuable, that's giving him very valuable guidance about how to find his own happiness, how to align with his soul's truth, and how to live on a path that will really bring him joy, regardless of what other people are saying or regardless of what society says. It says, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. So again, this is the Divine Masculine really listening to his own inner wisdom, listening to his own intuition to help him take those steps that he needs to take in order to make his dreams a reality, and to really appreciate his intuition, to really honor his intuition, and to hold it in high esteem, to place a high value on it. You know, that is part of what he is, what Spirit is telling him he needs to appreciate, is appreciate your feminine aspect of intuition. And, you know, we all have that intuition within us that is like that internal GPS that is guiding us towards what will bring us our authentic joy and our happiness. Okay, so what is the Divine Feminine thinking regarding her twin flame connection and her beloved? And so we have the thinking woman. So, you know, to me, this is another High Priestess card. We're seeing mirroring here with, you know, the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine both really embracing their intuition. And we see this feminine figure, and she's looking forward towards the future. And she's thinking about her future. She's thinking about, you know, what she wants to manifest. She has gained a lot of wisdom in this twin flame journey. We see she's holding this book of wisdom, and she's got this stack of books, and she's holding a scroll. And she's really gone through a lot of transformation. We see this butterfly here symbolizing that change and transformation. You know, just like how I was sharing, these last 5 years have been incredibly transformational for me, and I feel like a new woman, you know, standing here. And we see she's also got this you know, hat with these big, beautiful purple violet flowers. So that color violet corresponds with that 3rd chakra and 7th chakra. You know, really tuning into her intuition, tuning into divine guidance. So yeah, so the divine feminine has just really gathered a lot of wisdom in this journey, and she's gone through this transformation. And we see she's wearing this green colored dress, so she's really done a lot of healing, a lot of heart healing, you know, really going through a lot of transformation within her heart as well. And you know, as a result of all of this wisdom that she's gathered and healing that she's done, she's really able to understand this twin flame journey from a higher perspective. And her thinking is a lot more clear now. She has a lot more focus now, and she's really ready to blossom and move forward. And the clarifying card that came up with this is the 8 of Fire, which is like the 8 of Wands in the traditional tarot deck. So, you know, this is a card, again, we have another fire card here representing this Sagittarius fiery energy with this new moon. And, you know, this is a card that is about fast movement. It says, events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things happening all at once. And, you know, this is a holiday season, so, you know, it's a busy time of year, so this could just be pointing to how, you know, a lot of divine feminines right now have a lot on their plate. There's the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, a lot of forward movement. This is also a card about travel. So if you are traveling at the holidays, you know, this is that kind of energy. But, you know, I really feel like in terms of this twin flame journey that the divine feminine is really looking forward into her future. And I just get this sense of like, I used to be a flight attendant, and there's a term in, you know, in the flight aviation industry called CAVU. And CAVU means that it is blue skies, the pathway is totally clear, full speed ahead. And so that word is coming to me when I'm looking at these cards, just this, that things are really, like, all the obstacles are being removed, and the divine feminine is just going to have this clarity and this new perspective and this wisdom that is really going to assist her in moving forward. Yeah. And, you know, if you are traveling for the holidays, travel is a perfect way to really help us kind of take a step back and to get a new perspective on things and to get clarity on things and to really experience like a transformational kind of a shift in our thinking. And I'm also sensing, you know, with this red here, you know, fire is that kind of really fast moving hustle bustle kind of energy, and red is also corresponds to the root chakra, the first chakra. So if you are in that hustle and bustle, fast-paced, traveling, holiday kind of energy, or even if, you know, you're not traveling but you're going to gatherings and parties or festivities, this is just a really good time to remember to stay grounded. If you can get out in nature or take a salt bath or a shower or work with some grounding crystals, drink lots of water. You know, I feel like this is just a reminder to, you know, remember to stay grounded. So, okay. And what is the Divine Feminine feeling in her heart? And we have Cornucopia. I just love this card. And this is just so beautiful. And again, this is that illumination and that light coming in, you know, as we are shifting from the winter solstice, moving into the days getting longer and longer, and more light coming in. And I just get this sense of the Divine Feminine really opening up in her heart space to all of these blessings and all of this abundance. You know, this is a card about wishes being fulfilled, and like she's just really feeling that in her heart space. And we see there's this white butterfly here symbolizing change and transformation and purification. So I feel like the Divine Feminine has really, you know, been going through a lot of purification in her heart, and now it's like being flooded with all of this beautiful golden divine light, and she just is feeling so much fullness and beauty and abundance within her heart. And you know, having that perspective of wisdom in her mental space and that mental clarity is, you know, helping to open up her heart to all of this beauty and abundance. And this is a card of receiving, you know, of that giving and receiving energy, which is what we are in this holiday season right now, is really, you know, giving gifts and receiving gifts and receiving that abundance and that beauty and that joy. And yeah, so the Divine Feminine is really waking up to this light within her heart, just as the Divine Masculine is really waking up to this light within his heart, and really realizing that you can fulfill your dreams, you can fulfill your wishes. It's like all of these seeds that we have been planting in this journey, you know, like for me, going back to my story of 5 years ago, think about where you were 5 years ago and how your life has changed and what you can be grateful for now that you didn't have 5 years ago. You know, maybe you didn't even know about twin flames 5 years ago. Maybe you were working in a crummy job that you didn't like 5 years ago, and now you're working in a job that you do like. Or maybe just this whole ascension path and spiritual path has really opened up your heart and brought you this wisdom that you didn't have. And it's just so beautiful. And this is a number 11 card. You know, and actually this is a number, I forgot to show you the number on this card, is a 47. So we have an 1111 here, and this is just beautiful, you know, message of awakening to the divine path, awakening to the soul path, awakening to this ascension path, awakening to the truth of who you are as a divine being with that 1111. So really beautiful energy coming through for the Divine Feminine's heart space. And the clarifying card for the Divine Feminine's heart is Queen of Water. And it says, tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. So, you know, the thing that really stands out when I read that is relationships develop to a new level. You know, as we are going through this ascension process and we are going through this transformation and we are clearing our mental space and, you know, gaining all of this wisdom, and as we are purifying our hearts and releasing these emotions, then we are allowing this new energy of light and abundance to come in. And that takes all of us up to this new level in our twin flame connections. You know, as we shift our energy, our masculine's energy shifts, and as they shift their energy, then our energy shifts. It's like we are a team, and we have that, you know, that connection that can't be broken. So I feel like there's just this new, beautiful, tender, loving energy that is coming in the heart space of both the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and it is elevating their connection to a new level. And again, we have intuition here. Trust your intuition. That feminine aspect within us that guides us and moves us towards our truth and our joy. And care for yourself and others. And I think that's an important message for this time of year, when we tend to want to do everything and give everything and go to all the holiday parties and, you know, bake the perfect pie and make the perfect roast, whatever. You know, so just remember to kind of prioritize, keep things in balance. Don't forget to take time for yourself in whatever way, you know, whatever nourishes and nurtures your spirit. Take some time out for that in this, you know, busy time of year. Okay, and then what does the divine feminine need on a soul level? And the card that came up is Angel of Strength. And, you know, the divine feminine really has been rising. She really has been coming into her power. We see a lot of this yellow gold energy coming through here. That's that solar plexus, that personal power. And then, you know, we also see this lion representing this courage and this strength. And I just feel like for 2017, the divine feminine as a collective has really risen in her power and really is owning her truth and standing up for herself and seeing value in who she is and what her gifts are and what she has to contribute to the world. And this is a number 50, and that number 5 is that change and transformation that the divine feminine has gone through. And number 5 is also a number of action, taking action. And, you know, this is a very, this card has a very masculine feel to it. So I feel like the divine feminine has really been balancing her inner masculine energy as she has been rising up in her feminine energy. And, yeah, so she's really moving into her power. She's really rising up. She's really speaking her truth. She's really taking action. That number 5 is also relating to action, really taking action in her own life, using that masculine energy to create her own happiness, to create her own joy, and, you know, stepping into her mission, serving others. She's really done an excellent job of releasing a lot of that codependency, that idea that she isn't whole without a man in her life. Really owning her wholeness and standing in the beauty of who she is on her own 2 feet. And And the clarifying card, there were a couple clarifying cards that came up with this, which I felt like they were kind of, you know, more like advice cards regarding this strength. And so we have Four of Water and Ego. And with this Four of Water card, it's kind of an energy of, you know, feeling bored or discontent, or like things aren't working out in your favor. And, you know, the holidays can sometimes bring about some of those thoughts, especially after all the busyness of the holidays, when there's kind of like that lull and things can feel slow and dull, and like, you know, you're not sure what to do, and you kind of start ruminating and reflecting on things. And so I'm just getting the message with this Four of Water card to just remember that, you know, there's divine order in everything, and if it feels like maybe Christmas didn't turn out like you hoped it would, or something didn't manifest the way that you expected that it would, you know, to just remember that all the divine order is still there. It's still working in your favor. The card says, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom, open your eyes to the possibilities. And so I feel like this is just a reminder from Spirit to remember all of the possibilities, including the possibilities that you can't even imagine or that you can't even see. And to really hold on to your spiritual strength, your inner strength, and to really trust that, you know, the divine is orchestrating this too, and bringing everything together. Yeah, so trust divine order. And then with the Ego card here, you know, I was seeing the card in the traditional tarot deck, the Strength card, where we see, you know, the angels kind of like taming the lion. And, you know, the lion kind of is representative of the ego. And so I felt like this was just another message from Spirit to really don't let your ego get the best of you. Stay in this place of this inner strength. And, you know, again, this time of year, the ego can like step in and start to get its own ideas about, well, I expected things to go according to XYZ, and that didn't happen, and things aren't going my way, and things aren't looking like how they should look. You know, all of those kinds of thoughts and fears and doubts and worries. It says, a false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. And I heard an astrologer talking about Black Moon Lilith. And Black Moon Lilith is going to be an energy coming through. And Black Moon Lilith is kind of like a Debbie Downer, like a yeah but kind of an energy. So, you know, if you start having, you know, these fears and these doubts or these ego kind of thoughts coming up, remember to stay in your spiritual strength, and remember that, you know, your thoughts are not who you are. And we give the ego strength and power when we start to engage with it and we start to really believe what it's telling us as truth. So, you know, I always just say thanks for sharing. I see, you know, you're having some fears, you're having some doubts, and that's normal, and it's part of the journey. And I'm going to stay in my spiritual strength, and I'm going to go for a walk in nature, or do something fun and creative, or, you know, because when we're in this place of like boredom and restlessness, then that's when the ego loves to come in and start like conjuring up stories. So I feel like this is just kind of advice and a little warning from Spirit to just remember to stay strong in your strength and don't let this ego energy start to kind of throw you into a tailspin. So I hope that that makes sense. These sleeves are just not good for readings. These bell sleeves keep moving all of the cards around. Okay, so let's move into the union energies here. So for the union, we have Goddess of the Moon. And this is just so perfect for, you know, this new moon in Sagittarius. And, you know, at the new moon, that is when the moon sits with the sun and kind of just chills out for a little bit and recharges and allows the sun's light to just recharge it. So I was just kind of getting that imagery when I was looking at this card and thinking about, you know, this is a time for us to really like take a little pause, recharge our batteries, be reignited with that sun as we shift into the winter solstice. And really, as we are taking that pause to just recharge our batteries, you know, this is just another card of intuition. There's so much intuition, so much third eye energy coming through this reading. So yeah, just opening up to our intuition, opening up to our soul's truth, opening up to this beautiful divine light that is shining down, and really embracing that. You know, both of the masculine and the feminine are really tuning into their intuition at this time and really listening to their higher self. And we're just really supported right now with this new moon energy, with this winter solstice energy, really supporting us and going within and really getting clear on, you know, what we want for our future, what our destiny is, what our soul's truth is. And, you know, the moon also relates to our psychic abilities, our spiritual gifts, really opening up to that and expanding those gifts even more. And it's all, you know, preparing us for this, you know, passionate inspiration to really listen to our heart's desires and to really start taking the steps that we need to take to manifest those desires in the physical. And the clarifying card that came up with this is Major Arcana, the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel, and this has Archangel Michael on it, and he is a powerful archangel to work with for twin flames, for protection, for that strength and determination to keep going forward. And it says, a time of positive change, a situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. So our unions, our connections are really, like I was saying, I feel like we are moving into a whole new cycle of ascension, and the wheel is turning. We've got Saturn moving into that Capricorn, and it's going to help move us into our home within ourselves, coming into union with ourselves, and our home with our beloved, coming into union with our beloved. So there's a really powerful, beautiful shift. The wheel is turning, and it's a number 10, so that's like a conversion point where we are wrapping up this 5-year cycle of ascension, and we are moving into this new cycle of ascension and this really beautiful, bright future. And rolling up our sleeves, getting down to work, getting into that Capricorn, determined, hardworking mindset of mission. And it's just, you know, I just really feel like it's a beautiful time for us. This goddess of the moon is a 52, and so again we have another 5 for change and transformation, and that number 2 representing the divine partnership, keeping the faith, keeping the hope. And when we add up the 5 and the 2, we get 7, and 7 is that spiritual path that we are on. So very nice. Okay, so I'm going to do a romance message here from this Divine Love Letters book from Nikki on the Divine Love Crystal Grid channel. And I asked my Divine Masculine to guide me to a letter to read. So this is, if you're not familiar with the book, it's channeled messages from Twin Flames to Twin Flames. So as I am reading this message, then imagine that it is your beloved, a letter to you from your beloved. So I've been guided to letter 76. I want you to know that you are everything. You are the one that everything revolves around, the one that brings my dark into the light, the one that turned the light switch inside of me on, when for so long I had been living in the shadow of darkness, not being able to understand or value the true meaning of life, the true meaning of what it really means to love with all my heart, to discover the unfathomable truth that we are here to learn how to love. You are the one who taught me that, who showed me that the only real thing that matters to me is you. I know that I have to work on things. I know that I am in the middle of my own journey. But trust me when I say, the end of the map comes home to you. Trust in our divine map. Oh my gosh, that just totally ties in with everything. It just fits all of that new moon energy that I was just talking about, and it ties in with the solstice. The shadow of darkness, that you are the one that turned the light switch on inside of me, that you are the one that brings my dark into the light, and all of this heart energy, you know, opening up to the true meaning, you know, not being able to understand or value the true meaning of life, the true meaning of what it really means to love with all my heart. So, you know, it just really ties in with this reading about how the Divine Masculine is really waking up to what it means to really listen to his heart and to be awakened to this light in his heart, and to what it truly means to love. It's really beautiful, and it just always amazes me how these letters, you know, they really resonate. It's really like an oracle, so it just always ties in beautifully. Okay, so we will finish up with some final spiritual guidance messages. And I pulled one for the masculine and one for the feminine. And so for the Divine Masculine, we have spontaneous creation. And it says, you have drawn this card today to remind you that the life force within you is the most creative force on earth. At the heart of every living thing, the same creative force and potential exists. You are part of one universal soul and are energetically connected to the eternal light of creation. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the creative force within you. Feel yourself in communion with the entire universe. You hold the potential and power to spontaneously create by tapping into the universal energy field of endless possibility. But you must first feel this power within you and love and trust it. You can create whatever it is you want, provided your mind, heart, and soul agree and are in alignment. Pay particular attention to impulses and ideas that come to you seemingly from nowhere. Your intuition can be your greatest asset. Trust that you sense and feel and be guided by your trust what you sense and feel and be guided by your instincts. Thoughts and ideas are seeds of every creation, and spontaneous creation begins by the planting of a seed. So again, this just ties in beautifully with everything that we've seen coming through for the divine masculine messages here. Really trust your intuition, really trust your feelings, really trust that seed of desire that is in your heart, and know that the very fact that that seed has been planted there means that it is possible for it to be manifested into reality. God doesn't plant those seeds in our hearts, those seeds of desire, if it's not possible. And we have the power to manifest our heart's desires. And to know that that guidance that we are getting, that intuition that we are getting, is all supporting us and taking those steps that we need to take to make it happen. So, awesome. Okay, and for the Divine Feminine, we have resolution. It says, a battle soon rages. There is conflict and much heated debate, but there is also a resolution. A situation that is causing stress and worry may soon erupt and come to a head. You are advised to remain calm during this emotionally charged time. Say what you feel, but don't be drawn into battle or say things that you might regret later. Keep your calm, let everyone have their say, and try not to blame anyone. Instead, listen to each point of view. This event will clear the air, and you and everyone involved will each know where you stand and how everyone truly feels. You will emerge from this situation feeling lighter and brighter, and eventually realize that this whole event was a blessing. You will learn to trust yourself and others more, and the loving connections you have will strengthen and give you a feeling of emotional safety. This will make you feel more comfortable in all of your relationships and give you the courage to get closer to others without the fear of being hurt. So this is a really powerful card, and you know, there's a lot of different messages that I'm getting with this. You know, it could be that, you know, I had my situation come up again, you know, where I was thinking about 5 years ago how everything looked so chaotic, but you know, it really all came into a peaceful resolution, and I'm just really feeling that sense of resolution within myself after, you know, everything that I've been through in the last 5 years. This could also mean maybe there's going to be something happen over the holidays. You know, sometimes when we get together with family, things can become heated and come to a head. And I think as twin flames, we have to remember that we are light workers, and that we can really use that light as something powerful to bring peace to challenging situations. Also, this could also mean cutting away something or someone or whatever isn't serving our highest good anymore, and really stepping into our truth. You know, whatever this card is bringing up for you, whatever the first impressions or first feelings or first ideas that came to you as I was reading that, whatever came to you, pay attention to that, and know that, you know, approaching things with from a place of being in your strength, being in your power, being in that place of being open to listening to others, and, you know, finding this peaceful resolution within the situation and within yourself. It could mean something's going to come up with your divine masculine. You know, I'm thinking of this Page of Air card again. You know, if he says something and it comes out impulsive or clunky and wonky and confusing, try to tune into the intention behind the words, the message, the overall message, more than the way that it's delivered. And really try to be open to listening. And really be open to, you know, being empathic and seeing from the other person's point of view, and imagine being in their shoes. And at the same time, allowing yourself to be strong and to stand in your truth. And to know that everything is coming to a peaceful resolution, whether it's on a large scale of tying up the loose ends of this final phase of this ascension cycle that we are in, or, you know, whether it's something that just comes up over the holidays, that there is peaceful resolution to all of it. So, okay, so that concludes this reading, and I hope that, you know, that this helped bring you some hope and optimism with those new moon energies. And yeah, and if you would like to get a private reading to see the energies of your union, I do offer this full spread, just like I did here for you, for your private connection with your beloved. So anyway, if you would like to order a reading, then I will post the information about that in the description box below. Or you can also email me at twinsinunion@gmail.com, or you can check out my website, which is twinsinunion.com. So I hope that everybody has very, very happy holidays. I am sending you all so much love and light, and wishing you all many blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.